Hi everyone, I'm Yogi Wade. Welcome to class today. We're working on developing our core and imagining the fire of 1,000 suns within us. This furnace, all this energy that comes into us, that we're fanning these flames with our breath energy. We're going to harness all of the energy that we have today and melt that into our core, into the center of our body, into our solar plexus, burning up some of the fires of the anxieties and the world outside around us, and developing our strength and our power within us. So we're going to begin with our boat pose. This is a relatively simple sequence that we're going to add some little modifications to. So you start with your boat pose, Navasana, pointing the toes, flat back. Bring the heels into the glutes, and you pick it up. We're going to float back into our Lolasana, and bring it back to our boat pose. All right, step one, let's add a little fun to it. Finding our Lolasana, let's jump through. Begin warming up those abs with the locust pose, Savasana A. Opening the heart as high as you can. Finding a little back bend, arms come out to the sides. Hands beneath the shoulders. We'll pick ourselves up. Finding our down dog. And vinyasa through. Finding boat pose. All right. Let's start adding a few arm balancing floats in between. Picking it up into Lolasana. Maybe finding a crow pose or a crow two, if you can lift those knees up off the elbows. And then we'll jump back, chaturanga down, finding our locust. Feeling the top of the core, fire up here as you open the heart and look up. Let's bring our hands beneath the shoulders, tucking the toes, down dog, and pushing it back. Pedaling out the feet. Let's jump it through into our boat pose. All right. Maybe we can do our crow too. Maybe just a regular crow works for you. Whatever that is. Let's see if we can find Kundalini 2. Bring that leg to that outside. And jump back into our crow or crow 2. And find Kundalini 2 on the other side. These jump switches really get into the obliques. And then let's jump back, find our chaturanga, and our locust. This time, maybe binding the hands behind the back. Hands beneath the shoulders, lifting up, lengthening the spine. As we find our downward facing dog. On the third breath in the down dog, let's jump through as slowly as possible. Finding our boat pose. Navasana. I'm going to call it the Sanskrit this time. Navasana, Lolasana, Bakasana 2, Kundalini 2, Bakasana 2, Kundalini 2, Bakasana 2, chaturanga. Salabhasana B. Opening the heart. Hands beneath the shoulders, tucking the toes. And Ardha Shavasana. Pedaling out those feet. Shoulders come out of the back. Weight into the fingers and the hands. Let's jump through. Finding Navasana. Let's find a low boat, Ardha Navasana, giving it as low as we can, and picking it up into Navasana and Lolasana. This time, jump it through into our crow. Imagine the crow's resting pose. Maybe stay here while you watch the demonstration. We're going to do Dvipada Kundalini, which is a variation of the side crow with straight legs. So let's see if we can jump switch into that. You gotta put all the weight in the arms and give yourself some lift. And lift it back, finding our stability in the crow. And let's jump switch to the other side. Maybe Kundalini, then Dvipa Kundalini. And jump switch it back. And let's jump it back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Heart to the mat, hands reach behind us, binding those fingers behind the back, opposite finger on top. Opening the heart, releasing the shoulders, shoulders pull towards those hips. And we'll bring our hands beneath the shoulders, our up dog, and our down dog. Weight into the fingertips. We're going to jump it through as slowly as possible into Lolasana, holding the Lolasana. Hold it here. How long can we hold it here? How slow can we jump through? Setting ourselves down into Navasana. The arms get a break. In the Navasana, the core does not. You feel how it starts from the lower core, hit there, and then we pick it up with the upper abs. And finding our crow, taking a moment here. Maybe we'll find a one-legged crow on each side. And then our crow to Kundalini, both forms. Finding your balance, finding what part of the practice works for you. And then jumping it back into Chaturanga Dandasana. Opening the heart. Fingers behind the back. How tall can you lift the chest? Hands beneath the shoulders. Finding our up dog. Let's take a child's pose. I think we've earned a child's pose. Letting the arms lengthen. The spine lengthens. The neck can relax. You release your jaw. Find your strength. Tucking the toes behind us. Let's walk our hands back in. So we can do some of these little Lolasana pickups. Holding it here and jumping through as slowly as possible. Finding our boat pose. Navasana. Holding here. Finding that breath energy, fanning the flames of fire within us, using that. Let's pick ourselves up and jump it through. We're gonna chaturanga, our heart down, taking a moment for release from the arm balances. Maybe adding a bow pose, you grab the tops of your feet, opening the heart, rocking back and forth, finding that back bend. Maybe rolling onto that right side, and then rolling onto the left side. So you get both shoulders really open. It's very important. Lifting our hands beneath the shoulders, picking it up into our up dog, or cobra. And downward facing dog, pedaling out the feet behind us. Weight comes into the hands. Let's jump it into our crow. Finding a crow. Picking it up, crow two. And bouncing it through Lolasana. Into Navasana, the boat pose. Back to where we started. Let's try to put all these things together. Hands on the sides of our hips, and we'll pick it up, jumping it through, finding our crow, finding stability in crow, weight on the fingertips and behind the knuckles. We're gonna try our Kundalini again, maybe from crow two, if you have the strength to pick it up. Side crow, crow, And we release for a moment before we try the other side. Noticing how all the motion comes from the side body and the core. Kundalini 2, side crow, Dvipa Kundalini. And pick it back up, jumping it back, Chaturanga Dandasana, feeling the arms and feeling it in the core. Binding those hands behind the back. Feeling lower core fire up as you lift the heart. Hands beneath the shoulders. Let's bring our forearms to the mat. Finding a Sphinx pose, lengthening the spine, pulling the heart forwards. This is our resting pose on this side. Taking a few breaths of air, and then we're gonna, in a moment, jump it back to end in our Navasana. We got one more jump through, so let's make it count. Finding our down, up dog, and down dog. Trying to find our form, perfect. And we're gonna jump switch, Kundalini, Lolasana, Bakasana, Bakasana 2, Kundalini, Kundalini, Bakasana, Lolasana, jumping it through, and Navasana. Coming up into a seated position, taking this moment, finding the strength to pull the ribs into the core, to sit up tall, to lengthen the side bodies, lifting up to the top of the head, lengthening the spine, breathing into our diaphragm, feeling each breath of air and the energy that it brings us, and making the conscious decision of how we are going to use that energy in each breath of air, each moment that we have alive. What are we going to do with it? What form can we have the body fulfill? And finding that any form that we fulfill can unite the body and the mind to full awareness, spreading that light of awareness to the darkest corners of the body. We feel the blood flowing through every muscle and tendon. We notice ourselves growing stronger with each beat of the heart, growing lighter with every breath of air. Thanks for joining us today. The love and light in me honors the love and light in you. Namaste.